Hello, Edmonton. Welcome to the Midnight Tonight Show. This is episode 6. Tonight we have Jessi Toms and Pickle Vick on. This is the alternate media source that you know and love. It's completely free, so sit back and enjoy, you bunch of cheapskates. Hello, welcome to the Midnight Tonight Show. Today we are sitting here with a good friend of mine, Ryan Vickers, also known as the Pickle Vick. What's going on, buddy?
Not lots, man. Thanks for having me on.
Well, lots. You got these pickles, man.
Yeah, definitely have that going on. It's always been a passion project of mine, but it's starting to come to a point where it's going to be a bit more than that. So I'm really excited to be talking about it.
Yeah, man. Today. I'm excited to have you here. We go way, way back. We are like friends since like junior high.
So good 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, right?
I think it's longer. I think it's like 25 years ago. Yeah, it's a pretty long time, man. Oh, buddy. So, without getting into how old we are now, how'd you get into pickling, man?
Script that out there. Well, yeah, this kind of started, as I said, as a passion project, really. I think when I was around 7 or 8, my good aunt, her name's Rhonda. Give her props.
Props to Rhonda.
She introduced me to her mom's recipe, gave me a jar of them. I think I pretty much finished them within, a couple of hours, and I was obsessed with them ever since. And so, I started making them pretty much every summer with her, on and off with my aunt. And, then I just started making them for my friends, and people were just, really into them. So we decided, hey, why not make it into a business? It's something that everyone seems to love. So
there was like a stage of Pickle Vick where you were like the back alley pickle dealer?
The back
like all
alley
your friends were like contacting you like, hey man, do you got any more of those pickles?
Well, pretty much. Yeah. It's pretty much at that stage right now too. We're kind of at the level of scaling it up beyond that. So market testing has been done. We're getting positive results, and I think it's going to be something really, really huge.
Well, I mean, they're good pickles. I've got these pickles at home. You've dropped them off of mine. I bought your whole set here.
Yep.
And so you're not just doing pickles, you're doing carrots, you're doing beets.
That's right.
But like, man, they're amazing. So I got to ask, like, what's inspired your flavors here? Because like they're a little bit spicier than the average pickling. Yeah. And yeah, it's like, tell me why? Like, what's going on with that?
Honestly, that is the recipe. So
it was the original recipe.
My aunt's mom liked, the horseradish, a bit of chili. That is one thing actually with the new line coming out. We're going to be switching the horseradish stills, the hot horseradish, with a little less heat because people do love them, but the kick is a bit much for them. So I'm going to tone it down a level. So they'll be available in 2 different flavors.
Nice. So you're still going to keep that hot, but you're going to tone it down a little bit. Yeah.
Those are the flagship. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're good. And then you've got like these are chili carrots, right?
Yep.
The kick and chili carrots. These are awesome, man.
Thank you.
And then what's with the beets? What are you throwing in there?
Yeah, I call them bold beets. I like myself. I'm more of a salty over savory. I think that goes really good with red meat, game meat. So they're more on the salty, savory side than your traditional pickled beet that has a lot of sugar in it. I'm more of a bold flavor.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like I've those are gone at my house. Like, 'cause we're Ukrainian, we eat a lot of that. So they're really, really good.
Love to hear that. Thank you.
So far in like being Pickle Vick, like what challenges have you guys faced? I mean, you guys, it's literally just you, hey?
Well, no, I do have my business partner, my very good friend. His name's Cody Noon, but he is overseas, or I don't know where he could be right now. He has a job where he gets to travel a lot.
Yeah.
So he's a lucky guy, but my best friend, and he inspired me really to get this business off the ground, and he's been there every step of the way. So, I do owe him a lot. You know what? Let's get back to the original question, because
the challenges,
challenges, right?
You're reminiscing. You're just like, I miss that guy.
Challenging talking about my best friend and not being able to see him. Honestly, product to find product that is Albertan, Canadian, because I've been doing that since before this whole tariff war. Aside from that, supporting local. So
these are all local pickles then, local carrots.
Yeah, exactly. I source them from farms like in Alberta. So I do a lot of driving. So I'm trying to tighten those ends up. That would be my biggest hurdle right now. Is trying to find the supply
and keep it Canadian
and keep it consistent, right? So that's all kind of falling into place as we speak. And I think by midsummer we'll have them in retailers. That
you can have like Pickle Vick Farms.
Pickle Vick Farms, sure. Yeah. If I can grow them, if I can find enough farm space, sure.
Farm spaces.
I don't know who's going to pick them all because I have to pickle them. I can't.
AI by this time, right?
I think so. Yeah. Elon Musk maybe will come help me out.
He'll get some robots to
pick the fields.
So you were just about to say where people can get them. That's where people are going to get it. You said you have some retailers who are pretty interested. You've got some deals that are, not the ink is still wet on them, but
yeah, precisely. Yeah, but pretty firm. They will be in stores. I can with confidence say they will be in stores within the end of July, midsummer kind of. That time, just because it's going to take some time for them to grow cucumbers and for me to be able to buy them. Getting them from Mexico I'm not going to get them from the States. It's just the process is too expensive. My margin is too thin for that. So I do want to support, of course, Albertans.
Of course, man. Yeah, you need to slap like made in Canada on there for sure.
Or BC or Saskatchewan. Or not excluding any of those other
just provinces. As long as they're not Quebec, we're good.
Come on. Who knows? I don't even know. Do they grow pickles in Quebec? I don't know.
No, they just grow cigarettes.
Or the cornichon or something like that.
So, like, where have you sold before? You said you were selling. We had a little conversation off camera here, and you said that you've been selling a little bit at markets here and there.
Did a Christmas market in Morinville. I've mainly been using socials and doing drop-offs. And
so if somebody wanted to get them, they could go to your social medias right now, and that's just Pickle Vick at Facebook, or do you have like a website and stuff too? I mean, we'll post all the links, but
it's my name, so Ryan Vickers for my Facebook. I do have Pickle Vick, business suite page, and then it's pickle.vick85 for Insta.
Yeah. And they can just order through Insta, just DM you.
Yeah.
Dope. That's how
I'm running low. I have to be honest. I'm running low on my dills because people are literally telling me they're like addicted to them and they will not stop buying them.
Yeah.
And they're flying out a little quicker than I wanted them to because I wanted to hopefully make that stretch so my next batch is ready. But there's going to be a gap for
being in demand is good though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you get to have a huge release.
Absolutely.
So you said like you were doing them at farmers market and stuff. You were talking about like one of the hardest challenges is actually like hauling this shit around. Pickles are heavy, you were saying.
Yeah. A 1 liter jar probably weighs 2 pounds. So if you have a case of 12 times 3 and you're carrying that, the process itself. So I was looking at ways of simplifying it for me and the customer to be able to buy them, right? And finding retailers that are like me, they're selling Albertan or Canadian products, and we're on the same page that way, which is important to me. So, you're not going to find them at a Safeway or anything like that, but more local business is what we'll.
As for your plans for expansion, I see a lot of like farmers market products getting placed into like independent.
Okay.
Have you ever tried or thought of like going into like the independent grocery stores? Because I think they're like all like kind of they do support local. Like I've seen, Troubled Monks, like
beer or
Pearson soda in there,
and
then there's like the nacho guys in there. The Going Nuts dude is in there.
Wow.
Yeah. So like,
I didn't even know that.
Okay. Well, I'm giving you hot tips on camera, man. Yeah. Go to independent and see what it takes to get into there, because that'd be a good place for you to start retail. Like some of them even have like their own stands and shit that they put in there. So
I would like to look into that for sure. I was thinking more in independent, stores, not independent.
Yeah.
Independent.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
You know where I'm going with that. But I'm what I have right now. I'm going to see if I can, meet that demand once I'm just level up from there, keep leveling up, and it's looking pretty promising. So I'm pretty excited.
So you do it all yourself. You're the one pickling. You're the one making the recipes. You're the one doing everything.
Yeah. I can rent commercial AHS approved kitchen spaces. So I like to do it that way.
So you're not doing this in your basement. You're going into like professional kitchens.
And I mean, AHS rules are you are allowed to do preserves and pickles from home. It'd have to be labeled on the jar that, just like at a farmer's market, like was not made in a AHS approved kitchen. But, I don't mind finding halls like Cromdale. There's a few that you can, rent kitchen space off of. And
that's dope. I didn't even know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you're making merch now. You got a nice hat. Is that merch going to be available to your customers?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have a few things cooking there on the back burner. Shirts, maybe some pins, patches.
Nice. Oh, dope.
Kind of rolling with our,
punk rock
kind of our metal punk, bold.
Yeah. Punk rock pickles, man.
Fuck the system. I don't know. Was I allowed to say that? We can edit this in post.
You can say fuck the system on here. We're not part of the system. We're like alternate media, dude. Keep looking at the producer.
Absolutely.
He's allowed, right?
I got a peace sign. So we're good. Yeah. We're good. I'm pretty sure. Unless that was the number 2, which means no.
2 more F-bombs left.
All right. 2.
Nice.
All right. It's like a genie.
So we were already talking about your biggest support, Cody. And is there anything else you want to tell us about him? Like, he's just been a huge push for you in that. And I think that's a big important part about someone doing this stuff is like everybody's always been inspired by somebody. It's good that you gave him props, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like best friends forever. I mean, we've known Cody pretty much the same. I've known you longer. But I
remember listening to micro discs in his Jetta.
There we go. Yeah, the red Jetta.
Someone's gonna be like, "What the fuck's a micro disc?"
I think it's actually a mini disc.
A mini disc, yeah.
Player is what we had, and I don't think you can find those anymore.
No, I was like, where's he getting Metallica mini discs?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, yeah, he's like I said, a very influential part of the whole process. Very supportive. He's a big part of the labeling, the branding, the flavors. Like he is a behind the scenes, but he's also a huge part of it as well.
Nice. You mail him out pickles every once in a while?
Well, he comes back every now and then.
Nice.
So,
nice.
He comes back more than I go to see him, which is a problem we'll have to fix in the
make some pickle money. Then you got some
exactly.
This is all hush money you can fly around with.
You got it.
So what are you gonna do for do you have a 3-year plan or like what's going on?
I'm taking it, stage by stage, business wise, go from leveling it up just incrementally as it allows, right? Yeah. I'm not going to throw myself into debt or anything like that. But once, once the demand is there and I see that it can be met and then I can produce more, then I'll go from there.
Yeah. It'll be like a learning curve at every stage. But if you're ready to meet that, I think that's going to be great.
Yeah.
So just before we go, is there any other like exciting flavors you're experimenting with, or are you just keeping this like,
I can share.
Okay.
I think the next guy is going to be pickled garlic in a kimchi style. So it's like a gochugaru, ginger, scallion. Garlic's going to be the highlight, but it's going to have those kimchi flavors to it. I've already made a batch, and I ate like you wouldn't want to be near me how much garlic I ate after I opened that jar after.
I don't think I've ever had fucking pickled garlic, which is sad. I'm Ukrainian. I should have.
You'll start putting it in everything, or just eating it on its own.
Oh wow!
So that's the next one. We have some pickled onions. We're working with a lot of different kraut, even like pickled kraut.
Oh, dude, kraut's good.
Yeah. So we have a few things. We're going one by one, taking it slow.
Yeah. Get these 3 off the ground.
Yeah. As I've learned in business, just throwing yourself to the wolves at all at once isn't the way to go. So stick with the hits and or the classics, as they say, and then just roll from there. Yeah,
totally, man. Well, dude, is there anything else you want to say before we let you go? I mean, they can check you out on Facebook and on Instagram at Pickle Vick 85.
Pickle Vick. Pickle.vick 85. I should know that better. Yeah.
Pickle.vick 85.
Absolutely. Follow me. That way you can see when the products are coming out, anything new and exciting, when they will be available again, because I know that my cucumbers will soon be gone.
So get them while they're hot.
My carrots and beets, they will still be available for the interim, but the cucumbers, there will, unfortunately, guys, there will be a bit of.
Well, then I'll have to buy these from you before you leave.
Yeah. Well, I won't complain.
Because we are out. What has been the most helpful in getting your product out there? As far as was it social media? Was it like just word of mouth?
That's a really good question. I would say it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
/ social media. So one person's would contact me and get them, and then like I gave them to my sister. Oh my God, Ashley and Naomi Raymond. Props and shout out to you guys. Nice. Some of my addicts out there. I mean, like I told them, there's worse addictions you can have. It's it's a pickle. So
that's good. They're big supporters.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say it's more absolutely word of mouth, and that's how I actually really like that. That's the way that it's going.
It's very organic. And I mean, when you're starting a business that way, that's very encouraging because you get like direct feedback from like what you're doing. Like every time you sell a jar of pickles, someone like tells you they love it. Like that is not an experience that usually happens to a retailer.
And and I want people to be truthful and not, blow smoke, because then I wouldn't know that maybe I should make some without the chili.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because if you wouldn't have told me that, now I'm losing out on customers, people who like the pickles but are a little too shy to tell me that, hey, they're a little too spicy for me, right?
Yeah.
Whereas other people are like, make them spicier.
Yeah, like, I like them spicy because then nobody else eats them. Then they're mine,
Yeah, that's what some people are saying is like, yeah, my husband loves them. They sit in the fridge. Like, he loves them a lot, but I can't handle the spice. So it is word of mouth feedback. I like positive, negative. Anything people want to tell me about my products is really, really helpful.
Yeah. I mean, here's something. There's one thing I was going to tell you. I was on the weekend having some libations, and one of my favorite shots, Jack Daniels, but I always use it with the pickleback. And like literally I have like a 2.6 of just pickleback, which is just
amazing.
Pickle juice that someone sells. No pickles, just the fucking juice, man. So I was thinking like if Pickle Vick made a pickleback that it was just pickle juice, you're literally just bottling your leftovers.
I'm glad that we're talking about that. Yeah, because actually that is something that, you go to a bar, you get a pickleback, and you think, well, how many hands have been in that pickle juice that have grabbed pickles out of that juice, and now I'm just shooting it back. So it is actually a product idea that I did have, which here we go. See, word of mouth feedback.
We could do a whiskey wagon pickleback pickle thing. Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't remember any of it, but it might be fun.
It would be fun.
But absolutely, Caesars, like it's great. I use that whole jar. Like when I eat a jar of my pickles, except for the horseradish, it's a bit chewy. But like I'll eat the dill, I'll eat the garlic, I'll use the juice.
Yeah.
It's useful for a lot of different.
Even throwing like beer cheese in there, like, because the beer cheese gets pickled into like a brine.
Yeah.
But then like, if you drink the brine, which you shouldn't do, but some people drink the brines, then you can throw it in some pickle juice. It's really good.
Yeah. I mean, you got to watch your sodium levels these days, or for all days. But, I'm guilty as charged. We'll drink the pickle juice out of my pickle jars.
The amount of ramen I eat, my sodium levels are like through the fucking roof, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Ramen and pho. Sorry if I mispronounced that.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot for coming on.
Absolutely.
That's the Pickle Vick. You got to check him out at pickle.vick85.
85, don't forget that.
Yeah. We'll see you this summer, man. You're going to be all over the place.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thanks again, guys.
Take care. Next we got coming up is Jessi Toms. We're back with Jessi Toms. I said Toms.
Yeah, it's not. It's like if you have a bunch of Toms in the room, hey, Toms over there.
All of you Toms.
All of you Toms.
So you are a busy, busy person.
Yes.
All over Edmonton. You've been for a long time. Tell us a little bit about the stuff you do and have done. So starting with, I guess, Muse.
Oh, with Muse. Okay. Well, Muse has been an adaptation over many years. It started as a magazine that kind of went defunct with the pandemic. but we continued it on, and we're just like an artist support platform after that for a while. It's been put to bed and put to rest, but it's just because I've just gotten so busy with too many things to manage that on top of the other things I do. So now it's kind of molded itself into just my own brand, Jessi Toms. And I do coaching and helping artists with marketing and management and understanding the business. I do a lot.
Yeah, we've had some really good talks about stuff like that. So
Yeah.
some of the stuff that you do, like managing bands, I know that you're super passionate about ensuring that bands get equal pay and that bands get on tour and they just get everything that they're deserving. I recently saw that you were at the Junos.
I was.
Was that with a band that you were managing, or?
Not managing. So I work with a lady named Kim Gucci, who is absolutely wonderful, from the Clady Tene Nation in Prince George. And she put out an album. And that album, I did a bunch of marketing and branding and a bunch of stuff for, and it was nominated for a Juno.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we got to go to the Junos and partake in being nominated as a team, and it was.
She's like, I'm taking my marketing team with me.
Oh,
That's
she
great.
took everybody, and it was
she's
amazing.
giving credit where credit's due, I guess. That's awesome.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
So if you actually want to check her out, her name is Kim Gucci, and she was under Children's Album of the Year.
Nice.
But her album is more for everybody. So it's got some hip hop. It's got some, some kids songs. It's got some interactive songs, a lot of learning and language.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very cool.
Is it like language geared towards Indigenous languages?
Yes.
Or oh wow, that's really cool.
Yes, it is very cool. So she teaches you counting and just a bunch of things. Like it's a very in-depth album.
That's wicked.
Highly recommend checking it out.
So speaking of like, how many artists are you managing with social media and stuff now? Like, is there anybody else that you want to give shout outs to?
Oh, I mean, I help.
Is it too long of a list?
It's a very long list. So I don't want to exclude anybody. Kim is getting it because we were just with her at the Junos. But I help a lot of artists with direction and planning and an understanding of how to connect with their demographics and being more strategic with what they do so that they're not just kind of like, blah, we're here. But I mean, that's great, but so is everybody else. So if you have a way of connecting with your audience, you're going to get a lot further.
And so what gives you the upper hand on this? What makes you feel like you've got a better kind of sense of what's going on? Have you had like some social media training, or like what's behind it all?
Well, I've been in the arts and entertainment industry for 22 years now.
That's some credentials.
But it's so it's something that I have been able to grow with and understand from various levels, from the like production side to the artist side to just the technical sides and understanding it on a deep level of business and marketing. And so mixed with that, I have tons of certificates that I renew every year for social media and web design and graphic design. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you're doing like website design for a lot of these artists, graphic design for them.
Yep.
You manage their social media accounts.
Yeah, I do. So I do have, I'm focusing more on coaching now because I think I kind of do more of the consultation sides of things instead of doing the actual marketing. I still do some of the marketing, but I find that having artists more hands-on, because it's a lot of a personal touch with them, it makes a lot more sense to have that. And now they're going to understand the ins and outs of it.
And it does give them that sense of authenticity. If they're making their own content, as opposed to hiring someone to do it.
Yeah.
And who's someone who's kind of just like, oh, this is what I think people want. Like an artist knows what they can present to people.
Yes.
So, having some marketing person do it, I mean, that's fine for a while, but you're coaching people on how to do it. And I think that's even better. You're giving them skills that they've been searching in the dark for forever, because let's face it, a lot of us artists are not social media like influencers or icons. We wish that we could have that kind of exposure. So understanding like the ins and outs of like social media marketing and at least dabbling in it with some confidence is a huge skill to gain from like at least consulting with you.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. thing. Like I want them to, even for the clients that I work with, I want them to know what I'm doing and understand it from a full perspective. So that if there's ever a point where we part ways or they want to do something different or just take it out, like they know what they're doing. Not only just from the social media though, I'm talking about the business of it as well.
Yeah.
You know, understanding their rights as artists, what they should be getting as artists, the respect that should be given to venues and back from venues and people dealing with contracts and
This
understanding.
is a great segue into my next question.
Okay. Yeah. It's just knowing is half the battle, but it's a very important one in this industry. It's so unregulated.
Yeah.
It's very important.
And it is. And like that back and forth with venues to artists, me and you have talked about that in a previous chat that we've had. And it was about open mics. And you had a kind of like not a beef with open mics, but a lot to say about how like, you know, you feel that sometimes the artists are giving away too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Open mics and open stages are super important for the like ecosystem of it all. But when they're not really given a platform to use that, or that's the only source of entertainment that a venue has. I find sometimes the artists are kind of taken advantage of in certain situations, but not all. I mean, like I said, they're super important, but there's just some times where there needs to be a little more give and take even from both sides. Like for instance, with marketing, that goes both ways, right? So just understanding that realm, I think, is super important. And yet, like you said, not giving too much of themselves, but still learning how to grow and use that as a tool to better themselves for future audiences.
So do you feel that the local scene is kind of where it needs to be right now? Or do you feel that like artists should be getting paid more? Do you think that venues should be like contracting into more?
Of course, artists should always be getting paid more. But right now we're kind of at a predicament. So we're losing venues. And some people think it's because the people are not showing up and whatnot. There's venues being sold out every single night. The problem is the cost of running that venue is so high that people that are attending are not able to help keep up with that inflation. So the costs of alcohol is going up, and they, you know, how much can a venue charge for a pint of beer before a customer will not want to pay for it?
$13.
Right? It's I mean that's crazy.
If you charge me $13 for beer, I will stop going to your venue.
Okay, so $12.99.
There you go.
$12.99.
That trick works on me so well. I'm like, I didn't pay $13. It was totally $12.
It was only $12.
That's like if I even look, it's just like, give me the beer, I'll pay at the end.
But there's just a point where like right now, the venues also need that support, and they have to find different avenues to make income, and then that can bleed out and help feed more into paying artists more. So it's not only just about the door and how many people are attending, it's about the costs that are skyrocketing to make it happen.
And you're not wrong. Like it's a very like fragile thing because you don't want to like make venues go under, and you don't want to underpay bands, but like it's this fragile give and take that like, you know, it's always going to be like that. I'm afraid, but you know.
I mean, we've had a few venues shut down, even though, you know, that we can say that there's been people attending. And I love that. I love that we're actually getting out there and we're going and supporting these places again. And this whole new Canadian huzzah that's going on and the nationalism is fantastic because now people are actually paying attention to how they're spending their time and their money in supporting local businesses. So that's a benefit. But we still have to find other ways to help both artists and venues make more money.
Government subsidies.
That would be amazing. I don't know when we're going to get that.
So listening to your story, there's like a very obvious organic shift where you went from like managing and doing all these other things to like directly coaching. What influenced this shift to be like, stop from being the person who like the Wizard of Oz behind the scenes and handing over the controls to everybody?
Honestly, too many people needed help. And if I go and dedicate so much time to one band or a handful of artists, I'm alienating an entire group of people that I could assist and help grow as well. So I found that it was too limiting in how I was doing business. So in order to be able to help the industry more as a whole, I felt that being a consultant and a coach was a way better outlet for myself to help others.
And is some of that like insightful narrative that you're speaking, is that available in your brand new book?
Oh my gosh, it is.
There we go. So if anybody's really interested in what you've been talking about and getting into those kind of ideas, they don't need to consult you directly, but they can consult your book first.
Yes, they can. So I will say, first of all, it does say a guide for creatives to reach their full potential. But it isn't just for creatives. So anyone can read this book and it will help them. It's just all the examples and the workables are with creatives in mind. But it's about breaking down the internal barriers and that negative self-talk and figuring out how to, take your biggest goal and break it down to a smaller one, more manageable tasks, and how to even figure out what those tasks are. Give yourself a little direction instead of going, okay, so I want to be in a band, but there's like 300 things I need to do. Yeah. Which one is it that I have to start with, right?
And that can be a huge part of like, let's face it, artists, they think different. There's a lot that goes on in an artist's mind in the creative process. So there's all these different tasks pulling you in a million different directions. And that goal setting part of even cognitive behavior therapy can like help you focus in that mind just for a moment to get that one task out of the way, or even start like chopping it up into smaller parts so you can handle it. So
and also, as an artist, it's a very vulnerable set of industries, because when an artist creates something, they're putting a piece of themselves into this art. And a lot of it's for mental health, a lot of it's for some kind of escapism or kind of trying to navigate their own life. And then they're facing this internal battle of their own negative thoughts and actions, and then they have to put their art out, and they're facing more out there in the world.
That's tremendously insightful. Like, to mention how like that's a vulnerable state. I don't think everybody thinks like you're on stage rocking out yourself, doing all these kind of things, and even if you're doing that as an escapist like function, it's still like very telling of a vulnerable state of like wanting to do it, needing to do it.
Yes.
And only through like present introspection have I been like, what have I been doing my whole life? What does that say about me? So it's funny.
Well, and it's like once they get off that stage and that high is down, reality comes back, and and then they got to write more songs.
Not if you keep drinking; it never comes back. No. Just bugging.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this book is actually out of a series of 3 that's coming out. So the next one's going to be I Need Some Effing Motivation.
Nice.
So
you're already working on another book.
I am.
Do you like ever stop? Like, do you have a Duracell battery in the back of your ass? What are you doing? That's crazy.
I don't know. I just, you know what? My purpose in life is to help people.
Yeah.
And I'm so driven by that every time I start to feel my motivation wavering, I realize and I look out and I go, look at all this stuff that I've done and all these things that I've achieved and all these people that I've helped. Do I really want that to stop?
Yeah.
So
just drink altruism for breakfast, eh?
There's a lot of coffee. A lot of coffee.
So if anybody is interested in getting a hold of your book, getting a hold of you, wanting to, have some conversations, some consultations,
yes.
How are they doing that now? Is it through websites? Through...
Yep. So jessitoms.com. So JESSITOMS.com.
I hope they were writing that down.
Yes.
Yeah. If not, it's going to be posted.
It's also on the book.
Yeah. Perfect.
But and also I'm also looking for a coffee sponsor because I drink a lot of it.
Oh, a coffee sponsor. I think I know a guy. You like Luigi's? You ever been up there?
Oh, I want to go there. Yeah, actually, I have had their coffee before.
Yeah, he is whiskey barrel roasted coffee. All also sourced in Alberta. Really good guy. Yeah, really good guy. Sean
Local,
Kaminsky.
love it.
He's local, yeah. And all of the money goes to like dogs.
Oh.
Like the dogs just love the money.
Oh, I mean... I have a
goes
dog.
to helping dogs.
I have a dog. He likes money.
Yeah. Dogs with money. So what do you think about our COVID recovery as a city? Because you're there, you're so involved with the music scene, you've seen it. And when COVID happened, it's been a huge crater mark in like our timeline, It was like literally the Avengers moment where it just like the snap and everything just went poof.
Oh,
so now it's like that recovery time. How do you feel this train is chugging along? We're not at full speed yet? Are we getting there or what's going on?
Oh, we're definitely not at full speed yet. Our current economic climate for arts and entertainment as a whole there's a lot of ebb and flow, but it's struggling at the moment.
Did you write grants for a lot of artists and stuff like that?
I have been a part of that. Yep.
Did you find that the funding has gone down for a lot of that?
I find the funding. So I work right now with a few festivals, and their funding has been cut heavily. Heavily.
We were like once the city of festivals.
Yes.
That was like the other thing.
Well, that's just it. We're festival city, but our city doesn't want to support the festivals. And a lot of these festivals are free or of a very reasonable price for tickets, but they're all nonprofits. Yeah. So there's really there is a desperate need for more funding in those, right? So when it comes to arts in general, I find the funding structure is it needs help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a whole, the economy is picking up in certain ways in that the bands are able to have more stages, people are going out to shows, but just the finances are not totally there.
That's a huge part of it is the economic cycle of it all.
Yeah.
If people don't have a lot of money from COVID, they're not going out to a lot of shows. If, there's a lot less businesses, if the government doesn't have as much money, if the economy's bad, it affects everything in these cycles. So it's going to take a while for it to get spinning up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you said, in our current, and even with the projection of what might happen in the future with such uncertainty, it's going to be very hard to like secure some of this money from the government funds.
Well, we need the government to respect the industry as profitable. And like we've contributed so much to the job base, to the GDP. Tourism relies on arts and entertainment.
You start giving the government officials some lucrative stock options.
Well, we need them to go, hey, this is a lucrative set of industries and sectors, and we need to recognize that and promote it more. And I think a lot of it has to do with a lack of regulation that needs to be put in from federal and provincial and municipal levels. And so it's kind of the Wild West in a lot of ways. And I feel like they look at it and they go, oh, just artists, but they're not just artists; they're small businesses and contributing.
That's very true. Like it's the Wild West. When you meet some of the guys that own these bars, like they're like hair pull out, like never sleep, trying to figure out how they're keeping the doors open. Yeah. Like that's where it is, So, and they're doing their own books, they're doing everything. And not to say that we need like government officials to come in and do it, but there should be some kind of subsidies for local businesses to keep open and keep local to support this like
the
local ecosystem. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, we can't all. Where do you think all the shows that are going to Rogers Place and those arenas? Where did they all start? They started at the Aviary. They started at Starlight. They started at Soho. These two guys. Yeah. They started at all of these smaller places. They started at cafes like Blackbird or the Blue Chair, but they started small, and that's how they built their businesses up. And yes, I refer to the artists as businesses because that's exactly what they are. So if we can find ways to bring that up and have more regulation and have more subsidies and have more respectful recognition of the economic powerhouse that arts and entertainment is, I think we'd get a lot further ahead.
What do you think could be a positive first step in doing something so commemorative towards that sector?
I think, more funding, or maybe delegate someone or like a new sector of government that's specifically aimed at arts and entertainment. That's more about the funding structure, not just a few grants and stuff, maybe. So that's a loaded question.
Yeah. It's like, how are you going to fix it, Jessi?
Yes. How are we going to fix it? This is going to work. Yeah.
So what's the big takeaway here? What are we getting? What's the thesis statement inside of here?
Inside of there,
Yeah.
dream big and read the book so it can help you break those tasks down so you can reach them.
Nice. So what you got in here, oh my gosh, this is actually really nice.
Thank you.
It's colorful. You've got stuff to fill out. It's like a journal almost in some aspects. This is great. So this is it's a workbook. You
Yes.
can work through this
Yes.
to help you. It's a very interactive type book.
100% yes.
Wow. Well, they definitely need to go out and get it.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
You go to jessitoms.com.
Perfect.
JESSITOMS.com. I was going to say .com.
Thank you so much for coming on, Jessi.
Thank you for
That's
having
amazing.
me.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Midnight Tonight Show loves you. We absolutely need more people like you here.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Oh, do you need to say something?
Oh, no, I just want to say thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
That's the Midnight Tonight Show. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next month. All right, that was a great episode. We had Jessi Toms and Pickle Vick on. You know, buy some pickles, buy some books. You don't send us any money, so you may as well send it where it matters, right, guys? Thanks so much, Edmonton. We love you. Have a good one.